How do you do a dictado? There are lots of ways to do a dictado, but here's how I do them in my classroom. My students have really come to enjoy them. They feel like they are school and that it's a good way for them to practice and get those teeny tiny things taken care of and improve in small ways. So the way that I do a dictado is I start with the directions slide, remind students what they're doing, we talk about the purpose, we tell them what they're doing in class, and then this is really, really important. Do not change the slide. You're gonna read number 1 to them without number 1 being on the slide. If it's on the slide, it's no longer a listening activity. So remember, I like to have my slides extended so that 1 is on the screen and I can have the slides also on my computer so that I can be 1 ahead on my computer. You could print them out as well. You're gonna read number 1. I usually read them 4 or 5 times. There's no reason not to. I do read them at a pace like I'm speaking right now, so it's a very normal, natural speaking pace. But I'm gonna read them 5 or 6 times, so it doesn't really matter. I usually pause 10 or so seconds. Like I'll read the sentence, wait about 10 seconds, read the sentence, wait about 10 seconds. And if it looks like people are still writing, I'm gonna keep saying it. If it looks like people are not writing, I'm gonna say, can we move on? And we'll move on if we're ready to move on. With a dictado, I think it is really important that you remind your students, I'm going to keep repeating it because you don't want students to be shouting things out like, hey miss, one more time, one more time. This is also a really good way in the target language for your students to get used to saying things like one more time or repeat please, because you can use that and very easily teach it if you're doing a dictado every week or every other week. After you have read it and you are done and you are ready to move on to the next number, then you change the slide. So when I am reading number 2, number 1 is up on the board so that students can pause and correct and change things they need to before we move on to number 2. When I am reading number 2, it is not up on the screen. Do we see how that works? When a dictado is over, I do like to talk to students about how did you do? If you think you made 10 or less mistakes, raise your hand. 15 or less mistakes, raise your hand. And I talk to them about like, oh, look, what we're improving. What are the mistakes we had? How can we learn from our mistakes? And those kinds of things. It's a really good conversation to have with a growth mindset. I hope you enjoy doing a dictado in your classroom, and I will see you soon.